Well, here's what the standard configuration of the dock comes with. Look in the product description to know exactly what each one comes with, because some of them are different. Hex key, alcohol pads, extra sticky tape, the dock itself, the dash mount. This is the manual mount. It'll have tape already on it. The cinch, the arms, of course, and depending on the model of phone, a cable. You have to look in the description for that. And this one is equipped with a standard Samsung center connector. This one would be an offset, which this fits phones like the S5 and the Note 3. And then this is an HTC model. This is for an M8. And then we'd have the Apple for the Lightning cable. Now we're going to do a basic setup. Just take these off. When you get your dock, remove that, and then go ahead and take these out. Well, just loosen them, like a half a turn. And then pull these arms out. Go ahead and loosen this a half a turn. No, a quarter of a turn. Just so it's actually tighten it just a hair. Just so it slides fairly easily. There, like that. Now what I want you to do is take a standard sheet of paper, and the thickness of the note that I include with the dock itself, even that piece of paper would be fine. Just fold it in half. This just makes it a lot easier setup, I found, after a lot of trial and error. And then just go ahead and cut it. Just make sure it's not, not as long as your phone. Make sure your phone sticks out, because I don't want it sticking out of the ends. Just to go around it like this. You want to go around the back first, and then around the front, because we only want a single thickness on the sides and on the back. You can double it on the front because it doesn't matter. That's where we want it to be doubled at. But not doubled here, not doubled here. We're going to use this as a spacer. Just take some tape. Make sure it's tight around here. Just a couple pieces. As you can see, I'm using an OtterBox Defender on this for this demonstration on this phone. And I have removed the dust port. I just cut it off. It just makes it easier to use in these docks. However, I've discovered that it may not be necessary to do so. Not promising anything, because I don't have the cover on there just now to actually demonstrate this, but it might possibly work with it on there. I'll show you why in a few seconds. Okay, now what you want to do is go ahead and grab your dock and figure out how your cable goes in, because they either go in up this way or this way, so make sure you know which way is the up side. Put the up side up, slide it in there, just so it's loose, like that. Now go ahead and plug your phone in. You can lift it up off of there. Just plug it in, just like you normally plug the cable in. Now push it. What you want to do is you're pushing it down, so it's hitting the bottom, and just lightly tighten this. Don't tighten it too much, because you'll go right through the cable. It doesn't take much to hold this in. I mean, if it slips, you can always tighten it more, but it doesn't take much to hold that in there. Go ahead and pull your phone back off, and make sure you got this so it's tracking straight, but it's loose. It's round beveled, so it won't move around just a hair, but as soon as you start to tighten it, it straightens right out. So what you need to do is go ahead and plug your phone back in, and then what you're doing here is you're setting it for depth. See that? Just want your phone just setting on it the whole length. Make sure it's not all cockeyed like that, and then just with its own weight, holding it down, you just go ahead and tighten up your screw. You can pull that off once you get it tight. And just, it doesn't have to be extremely tight. And just tighten it up. And you're set. So now the thickness of your case is set this way, front to back, and then the port depth is set. Go ahead and give it a check. Turn off the power to your phone when you're doing all this. It just makes it easier. And just make sure you got a nice fit. And it just nice slides just in there. I mean, obviously it's tight coming off of there, but it should just go in there real nice. Now, put your phone back. Well, put the arms. Just throw the arms in, just barely in there. Now put your phone back on. Now, just pull the arms in like that, and now don't crunch on these arms. Just push them up against the phone. And make sure they're straight. And now these arms have flats on the back of them, so when these set screws tighten, it won't let the arm spin. Obviously, when you go to put your phone in, it clamps it down. But just make sure when you're tightening these that these arms are like that, not 90 degree with the dock, and just tighten them up. Like that. They don't have to be extremely tight. They hold like a vise. And then take a look at the back and make sure your phone is even on both sides. Like it's not like crooked in there, like sideways or something. It shouldn't be, but just make sure. And then go ahead and pull your phone back out. See, it's like a slightly snug with the paper on it. Go ahead and take your paper off. You might want to take care of it. You might want to use it again if you didn't do this right. Now go ahead and slide your phone in. It should slide in nice and easy. Like that. That's plenty. But you got it right down onto the cable. Just like that. As you can see, it's not coming out. These don't move. As you can see, I'm just holding on to it. But you can make these arms as tight as you want. Obviously, depending on how you set it up. But it's just a suggestion. Use the paper to get the initial setup. Might be too tight, might be too loose. And I was going to discuss whether one of these dust ports on these cases would fit. If you can see, so you can see the back of the phone here, and the dust port, if it was still attached, it would probably just poke out of here. Now you'd have to, when you're putting it in there, you'd have to hold it out of the way, but I think it would work. And in which case, what you could also do as well to even make that even better chance is to loosen this up and push this up even farther, because it's not really necessary the phone sits down on this metal part. It just has to sit on the cable. And push, what I did is I pushed the cable up more. Now obviously you don't want to push it out too far, because you can't get it, you don't want it the set screw to get down on this part. You want to make sure it stays on this big square part of the cable. But you can push that up and go ahead and tighten it up. Turn my phone on. You can see what it did. It lifted the bottom of the phone up, pushed it higher up into the dock, so that the dust port might be more easily stick back in here into the dock itself. just a suggestion if you have one of these dust port cases. I take mine off. Like I said, no promises. You do what you want, but it looks like it would work. But you would have to fiddle with it when you put it in there. I just noticed something that happened when I was setting this up. If you notice when you're pushing it in, it's not lining up. You just have to slide this down a hair. This part, just loosen that up and just slide it down a hair. It's just a little troubleshooting there. I mean, I accidentally did it myself. As you can see, this here is the dash mount, the standard dash mount that comes with all these, unless you get optional equipment. And I'll talk about that in a second. And how this works is, you only have to screw this in a few 3 threads. You can screw it in all the way if you like, but it just depends what you need it for. And then this little piece here, what this is for is you screw it counterclockwise, and what it does is it binds up against the back of the dock, so when you have it mounted to the dash, it doesn't move. And then if you would want to switch it to, say, landscape or portrait or whatever you have it in, then you move it up, and then you'd move that counterclockwise, and then it locks it there. Like I said, there's an adhesive, and you want to use this on smooth plastic in your vehicle. Don't try to stick it to a dash, that marbled stuff. And some of these do come with docking mode, and I make notes in the descriptions, so make sure you read them, and which phones do and which don't. And also, a lot of these you'll have to make notes on exactly what model you have. Even if it's a Samsung, there's many different variations between S3, S4, S5, Note 3, Note 4. Or I need to know what exact models. And this is on the S3. I mean, it does have docking mode built into it, into my dock, or it's actually in the cable I put it in, as you can see.